You're talking a small portable
Hmm.
AC unit,
Hmm.
and then the humidifier and the dehumidifier, which you could
Hmm.
probably find those online used.
Yeah.
So it's not hard, and you could
Yeah.
start in maybe 25 square feet. A
Uh,
5 by 5 tent, which is I looked into all this. That would probably be about I think 150 to 200 for a 5 by 5 tent. So if it's worth it, you
hmm.
know, to it could very well
Hmm.
be a good investment.
Yeah, I don't know what percentage humidity microgreens need. Do you know that?
Offhand, I don't remember. I'm going to take a guess and say 60 to 70. But let me research
I'm
that right now.
googling it. 40 to 60.
40 to 60. Okay, cool. I was off a little bit. I would have killed him. But
40 to 60. Well, with mushrooms and fruiting, it's like 80%. Um,
whoa, yeah, wow. That's
so what I'm thinking is put your mushrooms, maybe have a tent within a tent. Put your mushrooms in a tent with a humidifier, and you can't just use a evaporative humidifier. You have to use an ultrasonic humidifier that's actually going to spit mist up into the air.
that
Uh,
sounds expensive.
no, I
Let me
can
Google
build
that.
one. I can tell you how to build one.
Really?
They can be expensive. I mean, a small one isn't
Cool.
too expensive, but you can make one out of pond foggers.
Oh,
You
cool.
know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. They use them in Halloween? Do they use
yeah,
them in Halloween time? Yeah.
just put that
Beautiful.
in. So what I used was a 5 gallon bucket, and I put the pond mister in there, just sitting on top of a cup or something, and then I used a toilet the what's it called, fill valve. Put a toilet fill valve in the bucket so
Mhm.
that it would keep the water level constant,
Mm,
because you
mm,
you need the water level to stay just above the surface of that pond fogger to
mm,
keep letting it out. Um, so yeah, that just kept the water in there, and you just have to take it out and clean it once or
mhm,
twice, like once a week or every other week,
mhm.
because it gets kind of gunky. Although if you could put a filter, a water filter on the line coming into the bucket, you wouldn't have to do it as often. It's mostly minerals that get caked on there.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, so like
Yeah.
a softener type of thing.
Yeah. If you could
Okay.
filter or soften the water to keep it from uh, getting minerals on the
Hmm.
head, uh,
Okay.
the ultrasonic head. Yeah, that would definitely make them last a lot longer, and you wouldn't have to clean it as often. But yeah, that and you could put several of them in the bucket as well, to make more mist. And
Hmm.
then I just put a fan blowing to blow it out of the bucket. But yeah, in a small space, and then the fan is also helping circulate the air. So yeah, you'd have like a tent with that creating very thick humidity within the tent,
Hmm.
and then outside of that tent you'd have your microgreens growing, and maybe have your mushrooms that are just incubating, that aren't fruiting yet, sitting
Hmm.
outside of the tent. And then you could just have like a fan on a timer, occasionally exchanging the air between inside the mushroom tent and outside of the mushroom tent. So that way you'd actually be getting some of the humidity.
Oxygenated. Oh, humidity.
Well, you
Okay.
need to do,
Yeah.
air
Oh, yeah.
exchange,
Yeah.
but then,
So,
then you'd be taking advantage of the whole oxygen carbon dioxide from the two things, and you'd
sure.
be getting some of the humidity from the mushroom tent into the microgreens area,
Hmm.
but not all of it. It might be enough to
Oh,
keep
yeah.
it moisturized just by doing an air exchange, every 30 minutes or every 20 minutes with the mushroom tent.
Hmm. So, yeah, yeah. So, tent within a tent, basically. Um, so like 100 square foot tent, and then within the 100 square foot, get like a 25 square foot tent, something like
Hmm.
that. So
Hmm.
then the 25 square foot tents don't have to work as like in terms of the temperature and the humidity control, they don't have to work as hard because the
Yeah.
bigger tent is already supplying most of that. I
the
get what
yeah
you're
the bigger tent would have the
saying.
temperature control, and you would have more humidity in the smaller tent, but you might not even need a humidifier in the bigger tent because
Yeah.
you have so much humidity in the smaller tent that's coming out on a regular basis.
Yeah, humidity and CO2. So I get what you're saying. It's that
Hmm.
permaculture stacking functions sort of
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what would be the best is if you can get it so balanced that you actually don't have to bring in oxygen from the outside, that you
Hmm.
actually don't have to bring in air from outside,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
then you don't have to fight with whatever's going on outside.
Contaminants. Is that
Contaminants,
what
heat, lack of
heat? Yeah.
humidity. whatever.
Yeah.
If you don't
Yeah.
have to do an air exchange with outside, that's going to save you an immense amount of energy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.